Hey, hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Now, I know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates for you. This is going to be a general reading, so it might not be your reading. But the irony is, even if it's not your reading, because this channel, I like to go deep. We don't like to just look at what goes on the surface, like what your person feels about you, what they did do, what they're going to do. I like to look at the shadows and see how they play out as karmic experiences within your situation. You will learn. And even if you don't aren't going through that experience, chances are you will go through that experience one time, or at one time you did go through the experience of dealing with someone that had a lot of shadows. And so it's to be able to, in order to integrate your shadows, you have to have awareness. And so once you have that awareness, then you're able to integrate certain like behaviorisms, habits, core beliefs into your situation to actually shape shift your situation. A lot of times we look at past life karmic mates as somebody that's really negative, somebody that, is coming into our life to teach us a bunch of lessons. When it's they may teach us by showing us a part of ourselves, but it doesn't need to be traumatic all the time. It's that saying that we don't have control over our own life. Like, well, no, I get so caught up in the passion and the love that I actually lose myself, is what normally the fear is, because these past life karmic mates, soulmate, twin flames, all those type of relationships, there is an incredible amount of passion. And so that tends to distort the perceptions of what's really there. And so we tend to then not trust ourselves because we were acting on that perception that we, perceived, but it was through a distorted lens per se. And the lens that we were looking through is like the rose colored glasses, right? When you meet that person that feels familiar, that, there's so much love, there's so much passion, we tend to think that they're perfect. Now, I don't know why I'm channeling this, but I kind of feel as if you're in connection with somebody that has this feeling with you, Virgo. They think that you're like, they're a perfect mate. They're like pretty much obsessed with it, like to the point that they're like stalking you out on social media, that they're looking at your pictures. I don't even feel like you talk to this person if you talk to them, it's very little. Like you feel like you're in separation from this person, which again, they're not talking to you, they're not getting to know you. So everything's fantasy is what I'm getting at. So I don't know why I just channeled that or felt the need to channel that, but we're gonna pull the word of the day, the word of the video. Again, you're gonna write this word in your comment bar, and you'll know if I chose you, if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, is I'll write the word winner underneath. Then just reach out to me through my email, which is pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. You can find that information in the description box, and we'll figure out the best day and time that works for the both of us. The word of the day is always how I like to open up the reading. All right. Well, so let's just jump right on in and see self-obsession. Self-obsession. So again, they are the person that's connected to you. They they are self-obsessed, but they're self-obsessed, like kind of visualizing their life with you, what life would be like, but it's distorted. It's all like fantasy because they haven't really taken the time to get to know you. So part of their self-obsession is, you know, trying to like figure out who you are to try and, gain a connection when they do come towards you. But I also feel like they're self-obsessed with their appearance. They're self-obsessed with what people think about them. They have a big ego, but they have a big ego mainly because they're so fearful. And I know that that sounds like an oxymoron, and it actually is. It's a paradoxical thing when a person has a lot of wounds. When a person has a lot of wounds, they're not coming from their true sense of self. They don't know who they are. The wounds create shadows, which create personas. And so I'm feeling like the persona that your person is trying to like portray that is going to be based on what they think that you're going to like. Now, again, we look at the shadows, and that this story just happens to open up with this person that's in separation, that is, again, thinking about everything about them. And they're not really realizing that they're selfish. But it doesn't mean that their intention isn't that they have feelings for you. They do, but they're distorted. They're distorted mainly because they're not coming from their true sense of self. They don't like who they are. Now, do they know that they don't like who they are? No, because they have personas that give them a big ego, but it causes them to strategize. It causes them to try and figure everything out, but everything is relevant to them. Everything is how it's going to look. It's not really on the relationship, and it's because they're coming from fear. I hope that you're following me with this, because it's like we can have a connection with someone that they feel like home, that it's such a deep connection. There's a lot of passion, there's a lot of chemistry, but the person has spiritual blocks. Spiritual blocks just happen from childhood. They happen from experiences that we go through, not just in childhood, but the majority of them come from our childhood. And then they continue to affect us through different stages of life. And that's what's known as like a karmic cycle. Like, and the karmic theme is a karmic experience that has the same type of karmic theme, such as betrayal, victimization, whatever shadow that put you in a place of disempowerment, a place of fear, would do that. So your person is self-obsessed because they need, again, healing. We're going to look at their hidden truths, because just because everything is that way, we want to prove that, number one, I feel you leaving me behind. So there's a sense of, again, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And this person plays a lot of games. I feel like they're very good looking. They're very charismatic. They're very fun. This is the persona that they give off. But really, inside, they're depressed. They're almost like the sad clown that pretends to be happy all the time. Like someone that, can put on a good show, but has a few cocktails, puts on a good show, makes you really feel as if they care, like you, become a chameleon, and then, when they're done, they're done. And it's like, because they never really form these emotional bonds. And because they didn't give you that emotional bond, I feel like you were like, well, I'm not going to give you this. And then it was almost like, well, I don't know how to react to this. Like they didn't know how to react. And so I left you before you could leave me. So this person played a lot of games, like I said. And they played a lot of games because they don't like who they are. They can't let you get close. There's nothing, again, shadows are not a real person. It's what the facade that they try to put out. So they're only going to let you get so close so that you don't see the dysfunction. Do they know this? Not on a conscious level, but how does it come out? Well, they're avoidant. They, again, tend to be cheaters. They'll either be a womanizer or they'll be a manonizer. And I know that that's not a such word, but someone that's very, promiscuous, someone that falls prey to addictions, because again, coming from our shadow, that we still feel that like we have that shadow there because we feel that there's something wrong with us there. So we've detached and dissociated from that. And ironically, before when I started this video before, but then I had to end it because the nurse was at the door, my husband, the word was detachment that came out. And so I feel like your person has detachment. So these intense feelings for them are really overwhelming. They're not used to feeling them. It's time for me to heal now. And I feel like they expected you to come back. They expected you to be different. They play a lot of games. They usually manipulate things. People usually let things go. But there's a sense that you're not playing and they finally realize that you're not. Like you got this person's attention now. Where before, I feel like they would do something, you would say something, they would be like, yeah, 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 and they would do it again. They would just like, because they felt that connection. And now they realize that they really like gave nothing to this connection. They devalued this connection. And that's why they're really self-obsessed because it's like, what am I going to do? Well, how do I look? Like, what did she or he think then? Like all these things, but it's all, like you said, relevant to them, to their ego. So this is good. At least they want to heal now. So I'm gonna look and just see, pull from a few different decks, just to see where the reading takes us. Funny, I pulled this over. This is toxicity. So again, we know that a person like that is toxic and they're used to toxic. Ah, that's why you saw that. Okay. So it's like spirit saying it's like this person is used to toxic relationships because they're always in their ego. So everything is all about them. So they do things and they trigger people and they usually things blow over, people forget, they let it go, things go back to normal. But I feel like Virgo, you were like, this is like you being disrespectful to me continuously and thinking that it's fun, thinking it's entertaining, wanting to get an emotional rouse out of me to trigger me, which is toxic. But it's a way that you don't have to give anything to me, but have me like stuck on you or manipulate me into treating you the way that you want me to treat you without you treating me the way that I need to be treated. I am filled with regret. So again, that's why they're self-obsessed. But how does one heal? Well, they heal when there are consequences. And I feel like it was a good thing that you walked away from this person because they have been playing this game for a long time. And the truth of the matter is that they have a string of people that they have just screwed over for like relationship after relationship after relationship that they never really looked and saw like how that affected the other person. So they don't like themselves and then they create situations with that have people not like them because I feel like they're phony, the charismatic, the acting as if they're the life of the party and that they're this person that they're really not that person, that they just act as that person normally to get what they want. If this person's never had feelings like this before, and that's why I channeled that in the beginning, um, became so overwhelmed with their feelings. There is something I am hiding from you. Well, I feel like there's a lot of things that this person is hiding from you because they're not who you perceive that they are 100%. I feel like some of you have a person that has a lot of things that they're hiding, such as they have an addiction problem, they still have karmic partners that they don't want to be with. Some of them like don't have a job, some of them. So again, this person as was coming wanted to be portrayed by their shadow. They wouldn't never let you get close because of that. And they're afraid to really let a person see everything because they have abandonment issues. People create shadows because they were felt that, or it was perceived, I should say, that they were rejected or made to feel bad or shamed or guilted or some negative emotion about who they are. Will you give me a second chance? But down deep inside, again, that's why they're self-obsessed, really. And that's why they know that it's time to heal. But they're like, I don't know if you're going to be with me because I have all these issues. So that's what makes a person heal. Like you said, it's a good thing. You're almost like the catalyst to making this person heal because you're their twin flame. It's like, do I need even to say more? I mean, we can say, all right, why are you attracted to them? Why is this person coming into your life, Virgo? Why did you attract this person? Why is this person your twin flame? What are they teaching you? Because understand, twin flame doesn't mean that they're your other half. Like there's no such thing as another half of a person. We actually are a whole person. We feel like we're a half a person because we have shadows, we have blocks, we have detached and rejected parts of ourselves. That's the perception. That's not the reality. The reality is that we're a whole person that has blocks and we attract exactly what we need. The universe brings us exactly what we need. And what the universe is saying is this twin flame is coming into your life to heal you also. And you'd be like, heal me of what? After they did all that. Seems like they caused a lot more problems because I was hurt. They made me feel a certain way. And, obviously, this person not giving time and not letting you get close would make you feel rejected, would make you feel, bring out certain, again, triggers within inside of you. So we say, or gifts could actually bring out gifts. And you say gifts. And it's like, yeah, because you're not putting time towards anything except for yourself. And when you put the energy into yourself, it means that you're having a love affair with yourself. You're finding yourself, that you might be polishing up your craft. You might be taking a class, bettering yourself. You're giving yourself some sort of self-love. And I'm not talking about going to the spa. You may do that as well, but it's more about like filling yourself with knowledge, filling yourself with really creating the things, creating your life, filling your life, I should say, with the things that are resonate most with you and not with other people. A lot of times, like I said, this person always had a facade, so they were really always coming from what they perceived other people wanted, not what they wanted. So again, for you, self-love, that's so you attracted this person to, again, give yourself the self-love. It's like because they didn't give it to you. So a lot of times when we grow up in an environment where we felt like we weren't loved, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we weren't loved. Everyone's love is different, and only God loves perfectly. We all tend to have our agendas. We all tend to, have expectations. We're human, and that's part of the human experience. But our perceptions of what love is not. We're here to learn what unconditional love is. We wouldn't know what that was without our, expectations and perceptions of it. So the universe brings us someone that does have a lot of blocks, that does hurt us a lot of times, that does things the wrong way. But the whole point of self, when you love yourself, you're able to forgive. Because twin flame relationship is that it's almost like a relationship that it's the hardest relationship, but it's the most passionate type of relationship. There's so much love, there's so much depth in the relationship, and it's a divine union, and it's a divine union because it calls for both parties to step in to the best version of themselves. And that means that that's what you kind of made this person do, because they thought, like, oh, eventually you're just going to forget about it. And what they see is, like, you didn't forget about it. You were like, nope, I'm not dealing with it. Because again, you were displaying self-love, which is what you needed to do. I mean, we have to integrate spiritual lessons. And if we felt like we didn't have love, well, you have to reparent yourself. And you reparent yourself is by giving to yourself. And isolation, you were made to feel isolated. So in that time of isolation, you gave yourself self-love. So this is how this person made you feel. And disassociated, it brought back, again, these, like when we go through traumatic experiences, we know what happened on some level, but then it's almost as if we don't have a feeling towards what has happened. So when we don't have a feeling over what has happened, there's pieces of the experience that are forgotten. There's just, and the brain does that in order to protect us, because our emotional survival is just as important as our physical survival. So disassociation is almost as if we're watching somebody else go through the experience, but it's ourselves. And the reason why is because, again, there's no emotion, there's a numbing to it. So this person brought you back to a time that in your childhood where, like, you felt not loved, and by people that were really supposed to love you. And so this person, again, there's this unconditional love, this bond, twin flame relationship, which is all about unconditional love, but they're not acting that way. So it brought up all those wounds, but it looks like, again, you were able to stand your ground because you gave yourself that self-love. So we asked Spirit, what is the energy that we can pull into our situation to balance it out? What would we need to do? Because twin flame relationships are hard. They're triggering. It because that person has come into your life pretty much to bring to the surface everything that needs to be healed. It's one that the divine is saying, I would like you to change, but I know that you won't change. So I'm going to bring someone or something to you that you really love, like unconditionally, like that you can't help it. And you're going to be forced to do it. Problem is that with these relationships, the ego gets in the way. And because again, the wounds are hurt and the ego doesn't like to be challenged and we don't like to be uncomfortable. So we ask Spirit again, what is the energy that we can bring in here and now? Whatever happened in the past, you have to let it go. Whatever, only in now do you get divine guidance. If you can't forgive what has happened fully, like let it go, then the relationship's not going to work. It's like because what'll happen is that any little thing that this person does, you're going to like just pile more and more things onto it. Like just like when you weren't there for me, like, or just like when you decided to go ghost, just like this person was again also healing. They didn't even know that they were out of balance. It's not intentional that they did that. That's the way that they operated. Um, and yes, you could have gotten hurt, but you didn't because you again gave yourself the self-love. And so, it's to be also to be like, again, if you're with this person, to really be with them. When you're with them, be in the moment. Don't be on your phone. Don't be making other plans. Don't be busy. give the relationship, and this is for it to really work with a twin flame relationship, because this is what we ask spirit, like, what other energy can we do to make this relationship just a little bit easier? And that is, again, to be in the moment, to be in the present, to and to know that the future doesn't exist and the past is gone, to focus on the present moment and have the confidence in life again, because here and now there is no danger. Everything happens when my soul is ready. So again, that this person is coming to your life at the divine time. They'll come back into your life at the divine time. So you may be like, well, they, played a lot of games, and now you're telling me that they're going to come back and I'm just supposed to, be in their life. Well, the spirit says it's not, it's a choice, first of all. So some of you may really be like, no, I'm not taking this person back. However, usually with a twin flame soulmate, there's so much passion that you say that you're not going to take them back, but you can't help it. And so it was, again, to stay loving yourself and still continue to love yourself, but be in the present moment so that the relationship has a chance to work. And so I always think that part of the soulmate twin flame journey is also learning the soul lesson of forgiveness, having compassion, learning these higher character traits, the one of Christ consciousness, the one of the universe. Again, the universe is unconditional love. But what is unconditional love? It is compassion. It is self-sacrifice sometimes, not all the time. It's also perseverance. It's also resilience. And these real relationships, those real deep soul relationships, teach us that because of unconditional love, the love that is so strong that we go through it, and we're happy after we have gone through it because it makes us stronger. It turns us into a whole different person, into the divine person that we were actually meant to be, because we're able to hold those higher character traits. And that really is how you create your heaven on earth. That's how you're able to manifest the life and the life experiences that you want to have. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.